Hey everybody, it's Rod with Civil Advantage Firearms Training. Welcome back. Today we're going to do a quick review of the SIG striker-fired SIG P320. Hey everybody, welcome back. Thanks for joining me again. Today we're going to do just a regular buy, don't buy review, simple man's review of the SIG P320. So this is a striker-fired SIG, and it's the newest pistol in their lineup. And I was intrigued by it because I like striker-fired pistols, kind of just my thing. I don't shoot double-action pistols that well, so it's really hard on my self-esteem when I use them and find out that I can't shoot very well. So I like to stick with what I'm good at and keep my spirits up, right? So anyway, when this gun came out, I was kind of intrigued with it. Went down to International Shooting Supplies and picked one of these up. So I mentioned International Shooting Supplies quite a few times in my videos, just to let you guys know, my reviews are honest reviews. There's a lot of reviews that you actually don't see because I've done them or created a bunch of footage for them and done a bunch of work on them and then never aired them because it was a product that I wouldn't buy personally. So when I talk about International Shooting Supplies, they don't pay me to make reviews. They don't pay me to mention their name. They don't give me free guns. I talk about those guys because they're a good place to shop. They're great guys. It's a relationship that means something to me. I go there. There's no macho gun shop attitude. They know what they're talking about. Their service is great. Anyway, that's why I keep mentioning those guys. So anyway, if you want to check them out, you can. I'll put a link in the description box below to their website. Great dudes, Surrey, British Columbia. So anyway, went down to International, picked this thing up, and I've had it for about 5 months. And I've shot it quite a bit. So I think I understand it. I don't like reviewing stuff that I don't understand that well because it's not genuine. So I think I've shot this enough that I know where this pistol belongs in my life or not. So when it comes to this gun in particular, it's a modern pistol. One of the reasons why I was excited is another reason I was excited was because SIG is a very high quality manufacturer of firearms. They've come up with a completely new handgun platform. So I'm thinking, there's got to be something of note there or they wouldn't have come out with it. And it is. It's a very unique pistol. So as far as the gun is concerned, this newly produced, like newly designed, it's got everything you'd expect, like a flared mag well, stippling on the grip, tactical rail to mount a lighter laser up front, reversible, it's completely ambidextrous, so you have a reversible magazine release, and you already have both sides, has a slide stop on it. Dead simple disassembly. What else do I got on there? Adjustable sights. That's the other thing that's on this gun, which is kind of nice. Adjustable sights, both the front post and the rear sight as well. Now, what's really different about this gun? I'm going to try to make this quick. It's a completely modular platform, and I'm unaware that whether there is another platform like this, but with this gun, certainly they made it quite easy and it's done quite thoughtfully. So if you disassemble the firearm, I'll see if I can struggle with this today. It's a good day. As far as just the regular field strip, it's like everything you'd expect from any other modern pistol. You got the slide, the recoil spring, and the barrel here. I'm not going to take that apart. You guys have seen that a million times. Then you have the frame and then some of the innards. Well, it's really not a frame. It's not classified as a frame from SIG. It actually disassembles quite easily. Not that you'd know it by me doing it, but this chunk comes out. So if you look at other striker-fired pistols or even just any modern pistol whatsoever, a lot of these parts reside within the firearm. This whole chunk comes out, and this is actually the gun. So this is what's kind of different about this firearm, is that this is the part that's registered. This is the firearm. So it has the serial number on there, as you can see. And then if you look at the frame, which is actually not a frame, it's actually, they refer to it as a grip assembly. It has a little window, so you can actually see the serial number. When you look inside the grip assembly, there's really nothing in there. It's just a piece of polymer. So kind of interesting. What this allows you to do is it allows you to buy different grip assemblies, different colors, different lengths if you want to convert this to a subcompact, all with only registering one handgun. Only having one functional handgun though, that's the other consideration. But you can do anything you want. You can buy different caliber exchange kits. So these are the two things, different grip assemblies and different caliber exchange kits. So the kits themselves come with everything you need to just turn this into a different caliber gun natively, right? So this is not a conversion kit or whatever. It's actually now a different gun right from the manufacturer, a different caliber. So in the States, these things run, the caliber exchange kits run around $350. So by the time they got up to Canada, you're probably looking at $500, maybe even a little bit more, maybe $550. Whether that's worth it or not is up to you. You know, I tend to just buy other guns, and I stick to common calibers, so I'm not really into any exotic calibers like 357 SIG or, you know, stuff like that, right? 50 AE. You know, I can just stick with 9mm and 45 for fun, right? So one thing I will mention about this is this also has the guide rails on it. So call this a negative if you want, but you know, I just got to kind of call it the way I see it. We'll see if I can even reassemble this thing here for you. There we go. That wasn't so bad. Probably spoke too soon, but let's see. I'm not really good at reassembling these things. Probably wrecking this gun by doing it, but a little rough with it. All right. I think that's about right. So when you reassemble the gun, the rails are actually on that part that we referred to as the firearm itself. And as a result, they're actually quite a ways back. So when you look at the grip assembly, or what we would normally call the frame, and the slide, the way that they're made it up is a little bit off. Now, this isn't going to do anything to the accuracy of the gun because your sights are on the slide, right? So that's not going to be an issue for you. But just, you know, kind of a manufacturing note maybe there. But anyhow, other than that, cool looking pistol. It's big and it's chunky. And if you notice, it's very reminiscent of the SIG P326. And that's kind of interesting because, you know, even though this pistol was a real departure from this mechanically, they made it look very similar. It's almost just like a modernized version of this pistol. Now, a lot of the guys have these. This was provided to me by my good buddy Chad, and I was very grateful for it. This was the pistol, the SIG P226, the pistol that the Navy SEALs used. And so I thought, when I got this thing, I'm like, okay, awesome. I'll start using this pistol, and I'll shoot like a Navy SEAL. But you know what? To be honest, it didn't work. So if that's why you're buying these SIG P226s, take it from me, it doesn't work. I shot the heck out of this gun. I'm still mediocre. So anyway, kind of a, you know, reality hit me in the face there. But this is a very similar shooting pistol, in my opinion. One of the reasons why I think it's similar is because the bore axis is, it's greater than the Glock, meaning that the bore axis is where the center of the bore is compared to where the webbing of your hand is. So the farther down the webbing of your hand is, meaning the greater the bore axis, the more fliposity, as my friend Trevor calls it, but the more muzzle climb you're going to get from the recoil. So the high, you know, it's in your best interest to have the bore axis to be as slim as possible. The most shallow bore axis that I'm aware of is on Glocks. And that's one of the reasons they don't look very nice, right? They're very skinny up top, and that's one of the reasons the bore axis is very low. And that's one of the reasons why they don't jump around as much. But nonetheless, cool shooting gun. I would have to say it feels really great in the hand. The grip itself is really small, and there's no finger indentations, there's no finger grooves in the grip. And the reason why SIG did that, it was so that anybody's hands could fit on here. Didn't matter whether you had small hands and had to spread your fingers to get them in the grooves, or had big hands that, you know, where the grooves would be in the wrong place for you. So very universal fit on the pistol itself. The way that it shoots, you know, I can't say that this pistol improved my shooting at all. And I want to go out of my way to mention this because I think it's important when you're looking at any new pistol or you're thinking about any firearm whatsoever. The longer I've shot guns and the more people I've interacted with, the more I realize that different pistols work for different people. And I don't know, it's just maybe the way that your body is structured, or the way that your brain's wired, or whatever. It seems that people they find a handgun that works for them, and that seems to be what works, even if they really try to do something different. I think that if you made a huge commitment to this platform in particular, just like even with long guns, I think you'd be a good shooter with it. But sometimes, you know, as hard as I try to be a good shooter with these types of guns, I just can't do it as well as I can with a Glock. Maybe that's because that was my first firearm. I don't know. So I'm not really, if you notice in my reviews, I go, oh yeah, if you get this thing, you'd be driving nails with it, and this is the best gun ever. It depends on what kind of gun it's going to be for you. So is it a reliable firearm? Is it a high quality firearm? A cool firearm? Absolutely. So if that's what you're looking for, then that's going to be great. One thing I will mention when I talk about these tactical rails is SIG, you know, here's a message for you. Came with a case that did not have a tactical rail on it. Okay, so if you guys remember from the Springfield Armory XDM review, look what they got. Not only is it cool looking, but bam, tactical rail on the case. You can mount a flashlight or a laser on the case. With this, in this case, I got to bolt something on there, and that'll just be stupid. The other thing I'll mention is the magazines. Once again, they're SIG P250 magazines. So you will find them around. They're not going to be as inexpensive and as plentiful as, say, Glock magazines or even SIG P226 magazines, but they'll be around. So anyway, if you're thinking that you're going to share magazines with your SIG P226, that's not going to happen. They're SIG P250. Share your experience, and good or bad, in the comments below. Help your fellow gun owner. If you guys want to follow us on Twitter, you can at Civil Advantage 1, or find us on the net at www.civiladvantage.com or .ca. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon with some more reviews. Take care.